Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him, and so loses all respect for himself and for others. And having no respect, he ceases to love. Pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. The really great men must, I think, have great sadness on earth. We sometimes encounter people, even perfect strangers, who begin to interest us at first sight, somehow suddenly, all at once, before a word has been spoken. People speak sometimes about the bestial cruelty of man, but that is terribly unjust and offensive to beasts. No animal could ever be so cruel as a man, so artfully, so artistically cruel. Talking nonsense is the sole privilege mankind possesses over the other organisms. It's by talking nonsense that one gets to the truth. I talk nonsense, therefore I'm human. I can see the sun, but even if I cannot see the sun, I know that it exists. And to know that the sun is there, that is living. The awful thing is that beauty is mysterious as well as terrible. God and the devil are fighting there, and the battlefield is the heart of man. Man is a mystery. It needs to be unraveled, and if you spend your whole life unraveling it, don't say that you've wasted time. I am studying that mystery because I want to be a human being. It is not the brains that matter most, but that which guides them, the character, the heart, generous qualities, progressive ideas. If you want to be respected by others, the great thing is to respect yourself. Only by that, only by self-respect will you compel others to respect you. I am a dreamer. I know so little of real life that I just can't help reliving such moments as these in my dreams, for such moments are something I have very rarely experienced. I am going to dream about you the whole night, the whole week, the whole year. I am a fool with a heart but no brains, and you are a fool with brains but no heart, and we're both unhappy and we both suffer. I could not become anything, neither good nor bad, neither a scoundrel nor an honest man, neither a hero nor an insect. And now I am eking out my days in my corner, taunting myself with the bitter and entirely useless consolation that an intelligent man cannot seriously become anything, that only a fool can become something. The pleasure of despair. But then, it is in despair that we find the most acute pleasure, especially when we are aware of the hopelessness of the situation. Everything is a mess in which it is impossible to tell what's what, but that despite this impossibility and deception, it still hurts you. And the less you can understand, the more it hurts. Be not forgetful of prayer. Every time you pray, if your prayer is sincere, there will be new feeling and new meaning in it, which will give you fresh courage, and you will understand that prayer is an education. Don't be overwise. Fling yourself straight into life without deliberation. Don't be afraid. The flood will bear you to the bank and set you safe on your feet again. I exist. In thousands of agonies, I exist. I'm tormented on the rack, but I exist. Though I sit alone in a pillar, I exist. I see the sun, and if I don't see the sun, I know it's there. And there's a whole life in that, in knowing that the sun is there. People with new ideas, people with the faintest capacity for saying something new, are extremely few in number, extraordinarily so, in fact. Perhaps I really regard myself as an intelligent man only because throughout my entire life I've never been able to start or finish anything. May your sky always be clear. May your dear smile always be bright and happy. And may you be forever blessed for that moment of bliss and happiness which you gave to another lonely and grateful heart. Isn't such a moment sufficient for the whole of one's life? One can't understand everything at once. We can't begin with perfection all at once. In order to reach perfection, one must begin by being ignorant of a great deal. And if we understand things too quickly, perhaps we shan't understand them thoroughly. It was a marvelous night, the sort of night one only experiences when one is young. The sky was so bright, and there were so many stars that, gazing upward, one couldn't help wondering how so many whimsical, wicked people could live under such a sky. What makes a hero? Courage, strength, morality, withstanding adversity? Are these the traits that truly show and create a hero? Is the light truly the source of darkness, or vice versa? Is the soul a source of hope or despair? Who are these so-called heroes, and where do they come from? Are their origins in obscurity or in plain sight? You sense that you should be following a different path, a more ambitious one. You felt that you were destined for other things, but you had no idea how to achieve them, and in your misery you began to hate everything around you. It wasn't the new world that mattered. Columbus died almost without seeing it, and not really knowing what he had discovered. It's life that matters, nothing but life. The process of discovering, the everlasting and perpetual process, not the discovery itself at all. You are told a lot about your education, but some beautiful, sacred memory, preserved since childhood, is perhaps the best education of all. If a man carries many such memories into life with him, he is saved for the rest of his days. And even if only one good memory is left in our hearts, it may also be the instrument of our salvation one day. In every idea of genius, or in every new human idea, or, more simply still, in every serious human idea born in anyone's brain, there is something that cannot possibly be conveyed to others. The most offensive is not their lying. One can always forgive lying. Lying is a delightful thing, for it leads to truth. What is offensive is that they lie and worship their own lying. There is only one way to salvation, and that is to make yourself responsible for all men's sins. As soon as you make yourself responsible in all sincerity for everything and for everyone, you will see at once that this is really so, and that you are in fact to blame for everyone and for all things. I do not wish you much happiness, it would bore you. I do not wish you trouble either. But, following the people's philosophy, I will simply repeat, live more and try somehow not to be too bored. This useless wish I am adding on my own.